folks, for today's video, I had an idea. I was thinking the other day about brands that have really, really lovely graphic design, their packaging, their general marketing images, their Instagram, just in general, the graphics package, all of it just makes me happy. And I thought I would do kind of both sides of this video. So today's video is going to be about brands whose packaging and design, everything makes me so happy. And then I'm going to save the more negative one for next month. And I am kind of basing all of my opinions on like products that I have, because at least the ones that I have, I like most of them. In the other video that I do at a later date, that one will probably include some brands that I don't actually own. Because a lot of times if a brand's kind of centralized marketing everything doesn't really vibe with me, I'm less inclined to purchase it. I know, I'm a hoe for packaging. I get it. I know. Graphic design is my passion. Okay, one of them. First and foremost is probably one that's not going to surprise any of you based on my like purchasing habits. Collidos makeup. I have so many of their damn palettes. I have so many of their little 5 pans. I just got the Escape Pod for Christmas from Josh, and I love it. I am wearing it on my eyes today. I wore it in a stream the other day. I like it. And then their highlighters, I'm also a huge fan of. Everything matches. That's what I love about Collidos, and that's what I love about a brand, is if everything has some kind of centralized design element that pulls everything together, that gives you brand recognition and also is just pretty to look at. And then the Flower Punk palette, which I've talked about so many times. I got this as a gift also this year from Josh. Josh just knows what I like. I love their font. I love the font choice that they use for their actual like brand logo. I don't know what font that is. And then for all the highlighters, the font is the same as well. Like everything just looks like it matches, right? Like everything goes, right? Everything just goes. And I love it. I love it so much. Holy crap. And I will say that we're just talking about packaging today. We're not talking about product by itself. We're not even talking about like if I buy the products anymore anyway, because there's at least one in here that I don't even buy from anymore, but I still appreciate the aesthetic and I appreciate the graphics and just like the design of everything, because that's what we're talking about today. I just wanted to gush about design. Another indie brand that I really like their design is Menagerie. I do only have one of their palettes. This was also a gift from Josh. He just buys me things. He knows what I like. I have the Feral palette, and I do love that all of their packaging, it's very beautiful artwork. It's very beautiful artwork of animals. It's all very centralized. It all has a theme. Everything looks pretty as well. Everything looks really high quality, and they are a local-based brand as well, which is fun. The actual like logo here, this is a couple years old at this point, but the logo has started to kind of wear off because it is that kind of foiled font. You know how sometimes like foiled text on things just starts to wear away? It happens. I love the design. Everything is so purposeful. That's another thing that I really like about indie brands, is that they do really have a purpose for the design of things. They either really go hard on the design, like with Menagerie and Collidos, or they kind of go like bare minimum, something like when you're just buying singles. Like they don't do a whole lot. It's very simple. It's very sleek. It's very like clean. But this is another one that's just like very pretty, and they put in a lot of effort into the packaging, and it's like a heavy palette too. Like it's not a cheap feeling palette, which I appreciate as well. Next is one that I don't even know, where did I even put it? It's somewhere. Likely makeup. Likely, I actually bought the Ugly palette that's coming in the mail soon. I was so excited about it that I was like, oh my god, I need this. I love Likely's branding. I love the actual like branding of the lashes as well. I don't actually buy any lashes because I wear glasses, and all the lashes from Likely are super long. So I can't really speak to the lashes themselves, but I love the design. It's all very Jordy. Like if you've ever followed any of Jordy's channels or any of Jordy on social media, it's very much her aesthetic. It's got that kind of edgy, kind of grunge element with the font style, as well as just like pretty butterfly emphasize colorful things. I have the Clown Blush palette, and then they have the Fairy Blush palette, and then this new Ugly palette. It's literally just called the Ugly palette, and it's themed around the ugliest color according to Pantone, which is like some like brownie green shade, which is like, why is that ugly? That's such a pretty color. Like, what the fuck? So she took ugly and turned it on its head, and I thought that was super cool, and I love everything about the design. Oh my god, like I feel like if I were to make my own brand, it would look something like that. Like, it's just so pretty. Holy shit. Like, I want more things from them.
Next.
Another indie, it's an indie brand, Lunar Beauty. Lunar Beauty is Manny MUA's brand, and the only palette I have from it is the Eternal Eclipse, and I don't remember when this came out, but it came out last year. I was so stoked on the actual like palette itself, and the colors are good too. Like, I like the colors in here. It's a really nice, fun, kind of smoky neutrals palette that I hadn't really had a lot of crossover with. But when Lunar Beauty started, they didn't quite have this like centralized theme and branding in mind. Like looking at the Life's a Drag palette when it first came out, like it didn't really fit a theme specifically. But ever since then, every palette and every product that's come out from them like really kind of knocks it out of the park with packaging. Like the palettes, the lip glosses, the highlighters, everything is just very, again, purposeful. Everything's really pretty. Everything makes sense together. Everything looks like it belongs together, and everything matches. Everything's just so well thought out, and I appreciate the packaging and the design and the branding, and everything is just gorgeous. Like, this palette is just so pretty, and like the font too, the font they chose, I love. It's like different enough to where it's not basic, but it's not hard to read, you know? Cause like there's a couple brands and indie brands that have like cool, fun fonts, but it gets to a point where it's kind of hard to read, where it's just over the top for the sake of being over the top, or they go super boring and it just fades into the background and you don't even remember anything about the brand. But I feel like Lunar Beauty kind of hits right in the middle as far as like having a font and a graphic design that is memorable without being like over the top. Okay, next. Melt and I have a contemptuous relationship because the Smoke Sessions palette is one of the most obnoxious things I've ever purchased. And the 420 palette is fine. I will say the Gemini palette is still one of my favorite eyeshadow palettes. I love it. I use it. I am obsessed with it. It's still so nice and one of my favorite color stories. And something that I appreciate about Melt, again, this kind of has the foiled text kind of fading off, but I've had this for like, God, 3 years now? Jesus Christ. What I like about them, specifically with palettes, they don't put colors on the outside packaging that don't exist inside the palette. So many brands do that, which I will get to in the second part of this video, where I talk about things I don't like. They match the colors inside the packaging as well as what's actually in the palette. So I love that. I do love that. Once they got rid of like the stacks annoyed the shit out of me. The stacks were very frustrating and annoying, and I never bought any of them, but everything I heard about the stacks were annoying as hell. So once they got rid of those, and once they stopped promoting those, I was like, yes, Melt. The packaging, all of it is beautiful. The blushes, I have one of the blush lights here. This is in the shade Lynx. It's like a peachy, kind of bronzy color. It's pretty. It's pretty, it's simple. The font they have is, again, kind of like Lunar Beauty, where it's different enough, but it's still legible, it's still recognizable, and it's still clean, and I like that about them. I like that everything is black for the most part. They've only come out with a handful of palettes that don't have a black base, and anytime a brand relies heavily on like white packaging, except for Fenty, I feel like Fenty is the only one that can pull off the white packaging, but most of the time if a brand relies heavily on white packaging, I'm not a fan because it gets dirty really easily and it just gets gross. But Melt's is all black, and I like it. I like the little labels they put on the highlighters. It's got like kind of a subtle iridescence to it. And their lipsticks are really basic too. It's just like a black tube. It's not quite rubberized as like Nars, but it's not a super shiny plastic. It's almost like, if you can kind of tell, it's like a satin type plastic to where it doesn't have a high gloss finish, and it just looks sleek, and it doesn't look dirty very easily. It doesn't collect fingerprints as well. I appreciate it. I love it. Okay, another indie brand, Lethal Cosmetics. Lethal, very basic. as far as packaging goes. I only own their palette that I made myself, but what I love about Lethal, I love the little designs they put on the actual shadows, the little pressings. I like when brands have one centralized design on a pressing. I really don't like when brands do like a ton of different patterns pressed on things. Like Jeffree Star does that and it annoys the shit out of me. But I like that they have one kind of recognizable design that they press on all their shadows. And this palette in and of itself is super cool. It's like an oil spill kind of iridescence and it's really pretty. And their actual logo is simple and it's clean, but it's not boring, you know, because there's something about specific fonts that just bore the shit out of me. And Lethal Cosmetics, I don't know what font it is, but it's a sans serif. We're getting into like full typography here. It's a sans serif thin leading font. I was like, right, that's the leading? Or is that the leading? Or is that the... It's a thin sans serif font that's blocky. So it like the actual like letters themselves are kind of wide, but the actual line work, it's thin. So it's pretty, it's nice to look at, and it's still recognizable as Lethal Cosmetics. Otherwise, they keep it really simple, and I appreciate that. I do like it. It's nice. It's concise, it's precise, it's pretty, it's sleek. And the back, it's just like little dots that you can poke out the shadows with. They don't go overboard with packaging and printing things on there. It's just nice. I like it. So the one brand that I mentioned that I actually feel like does white packaging well is Fenty. And I have one of their, what is this one? Oh yeah, it's the Mimosa Sunrise and Sangria Sunset. Something about the Fenty packaging, it's glossy, like it's a high gloss type finish. You can't really see it that well, but it has a really subtle iridescence to it, but it doesn't leave fingerprints so bad. It like there's some things that leave fingerprints on it, but it's not awful. Like the silvery ones, not a huge fan of the silvery packaging things, but the white packaging doesn't leave fingerprints, and because it is a high glossy plastic, it's easy to wipe off and it doesn't leave stains. So ones that have that more kind of rubberized package, you're kind of fucked when it comes to trying to clean them off unless you actually get like alcohol to wipe it off. So these ones are actually really easy to wipe clean. And I really like the font they chose for Fenty Beauty. It's very similar to Lethal, very clean, very sleek, very modern, and still recognizable. They did like the backwards N for Fenty. I think that's a really cool little detail they do. It's easy to put on a lot of different things. That's another thing is like if a brand chooses a font or chooses a logo, it needs to be easy to print on various things, and still something that's like recognizable but not super busy. And I feel like Fenty does a decent job with that, and it's just nice. And the shapes of things is again kind of a theme for them as well. They do a lot of things. All of their face powders are hexagonal, and I think as well the cream blushes are hexagonal as well, but they're smaller. I like it. It's pretty, it's clean, aesthetically pleasing, very aesthetically pleasing. This is the only brand that uses white packaging that I like the packaging. I don't think any other brand that I have that uses white packaging, white plastic or white cardboard, I don't like their packaging. But this one I actually do like a lot. Fenty, you're doing a good job. Another one that I like their packaging is Nabla. And this is actually one of their highlighters. This was kind of a new packaging for them. I like their logo too. Their logo, Nabla, it's a very clean kind of all caps logo, and it's easy to read, not confusing to read. I do not own any of Nabla's palettes, but I own a couple of their blushes, and they're metal compacts. Super sleek, really nice, really good weight and quality for how small it is, and it has just like the Nabla logo on it, nothing too crazy. And it's just really simple, really clean. It's got a mirror in there, easy to take with you, easy to travel with, and is it metal? Maybe it's plastic, but it's a nice plastic. It's a really high quality plastic. And then this one is a more kind of acetate kind of plastic that's clear, but I actually really, really like it. I really like the packaging for these. I feel like they were very nostalgic. I appreciate that you can see the color of the product inside of them. With these ones, they had different colors for like varying powders. So like I have a contour powder from them that's like a different colored compact. These ones, you can just see the color inside of it, and I think it's really pretty. It kind of plays to the early 2000s nostalgia that I appreciate. That kind of jellies looking packaging. I like it. I think it was really cute, and like the actual like labels are really nice and easy to read, easily printed, and just good. Clean, fun, aesthetically pleasing. I do like their palettes as well. I just don't own any of them, but I do like the packaging of the palettes. I think they're pretty and I think they're well done for sure. I just don't have any of them. One that I have a love-hate relationship, specifically just for some of the products, Nars. And this is the brand that I don't actually buy from anymore because I stopped purchasing from Nars a few years back, when I switched to going cruelty-free. Nars, okay. I love everything about like the look and the design of Nars products. Their palettes, as annoying as it is to have all of the orgasm products, all of their palettes are gorgeous. Like whenever I see their palettes in stores or on like Instagram or whatever, I'm like, oh my God, the outside of that is so beautiful. And then I look at the inside and I was like,
oh, that's boring as fuck.
They're always boring color stories, but the actual packaging is always gorgeous. And it's very sleek. It's very grown up looking. It's very classy without being boring. I feel like there's a handful of brands that I'll talk about in the second one of these videos that go for classy and just hit boring. And I feel like Nars doesn't make it into the boring category for packaging. Their blushes are quite annoying because as pretty as they are and as beautiful as the packaging is, this is what, Taos. I bought this years ago. I don't remember how many, but it's gorgeous. Like it's a really nice kind of compact, easy to travel with compact, but it's rubberized. So it gets fingerprints, it gets dust, it gets dirt, it gets hair, it gets smudges. It's so gross when it gets gross. But when it's not dirty, or when I'm just looking at it in the store, it's beautiful. The boxes everything comes in is gorgeous. The actual like brand aesthetic on their website, everything is just so pretty and classy looking. Literally, a Nars blush was one of the first high-end products I ever bought when I first started getting into makeup like 11 years ago. It was Deep Throat. It was Deep Throat blush. I bought a MAC lipstick and a Nars blush, and when that was that from there. I have always still appreciated Nars packaging. I feel like it's a very classic looking packaging that they don't have to necessarily update a lot of, because some brands go for really, really trendy packaging and really trendy logos to where it's just gonna get really old in a few years. And the fact that Nars hasn't changed anything about their branding and packaging in 11 years kind of says a lot about how classic and classy it looks. As annoyed as I am with the fact that it's rubberized and the fact that I don't buy from them anymore, I still do just like appreciate looking at things when I'm walking through the store. One that I don't actually have anything from, but I will recognize. Well, I have one palette, but it's gross. Colourpop actually knocks it out of the park with packaging. As annoyed as I get with Colourpop with their incessant releases and their constant releases, most of the time Colourpop knocks it out of the park. The handful of times that I have mentioned Colourpop's bad packaging, whether it was like problematic or just like ugly, like with the Hocus Pocus one, most of the time they do a really good job with packaging. Like the Lizzie McGuire one was really cute. They do a much better job with packaging than they do with actual palettes and the color schemes inside the palettes. That's really annoying. So it's like, oh, I love your packaging, but then when you look inside the palette, it's like, oh, that's boring as fuck. So Colourpop is a double-edged sword, because as pretty as the packaging is and as pretty as like all the products are, they're very trendy. I will say they're very trendy. So in a few years, it'll probably be something that people are looking at. They're like, why did things look like that? I think that was everything I wanted to talk about. The thing with drugstore brands is that like, I don't really like the packaging of any of it, but I don't really care. Like if I'm buying a drugstore product, like the Essence Lash Princess mascara is like the stupidest looking little container, but it's $4 and it's a great mascara, so I don't care. That was fun. That was a fun video. I was just like, I just want to talk about packaging for a while because I love packaging. I love graphic design. I love logos. I love fonts. I love themes, color stories, color schemes. I appreciate it all. And I like talking about it. So yeah. For today's song of the day, it is no longer Christmas. Ooh, what was the song? Okay, Josh started playing this game that I bought for him on Steam, and it's called Tales of Arise, and it actually has a bunch of voice actors who have worked with Funimation before. Like, he started playing it, and I was like, I know that voice, and I know that voice. But the opening theme for the game is by the same band who does the opening theme, the first opening theme, for Black Clover. Kankaku Piero, the song is called Hibana, and it's really good, and it's really cool. And he started playing it yesterday while I was streaming, and he was like, Abby, you have to listen to this. Like, he literally made me get up from my desk while I was streaming, and I was like, okay, guys, I'll be right back. But it's a really cool song, and apparently it's the opening theme song for Tales of Arise, which is a video game that has an anime-style animation. So yeah, we're back on that anime theme songs, but now we're getting into the video game anime theme song. I think that was everything I wanted to talk about. I will be streaming on Twitch tonight as this video is being uploaded. I'm not sure exactly what time, but I'm going to be streaming tonight and then on Friday as well after my video goes up. So if you would like to go hang out with me on Twitch, I'm going to be playing some Sims, some chaotic Sims. My Sims family that I've been playing with lately has been pure chaos. So if you like that, come check me out on Twitch. Otherwise, if you guys want to follow me elsewhere on Twitter or Instagram, it is just Abers07. And then Twitch is Abers without the 07. But have a good rest of your day. I hope you all like this video, and give this video a thumbs up if you did like it, and subscribe if you would like to follow me more. If you want to stay up to date when I upload new videos, which is right now Monday, Wednesdays, and Fridays, and I think I might keep that through January. Who knows? I don't know. Have a good one, and I will see you all on Friday. Bye!